Hello, this is Malik, your financial emancipator, and today I wanted to do a video with you guys to first say happy November. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe it's already November 2018. So if you have financial goals for 2018 and you haven't achieved them yet, it's the time for you to achieve them in 2018 is probably past, but you can always reset those goals for 2019 and use the next 6 weeks in order to kind of move forward in planning for those goals for 2019. So make them your goals for 2019 and then spend these last 6 weeks planning for those goals. Make a plan and be honest with yourself. Why didn't you achieve your goals in 2018 and apply those things to 2019 so that you can see why what you didn't do and make sure you can make a better plan for 2019. So we're going to achieve these goals in 2019. We're not going to be sitting around in November 2019 talking about, oh my goodness, what happened? Why didn't I achieve my financial goals? We're going to get to it straight out the gate as soon as 2019 kicks off in January. In order to do that, you cannot spend up all your money on Christmas. So this is the PSA. This is the PSA. Christmas is coming. Do not spend up all your money on Christmas. If you have kids, your children are not going to be playing with those toys in February. Stop wasting your money. If you have big teenagers, they don't need Gucci this, Louis that. Buy them one thing that you want to buy that's in your budget and move along. Your husband does not need this. Your wife does not need that. You only need the things that you can afford. And the reality is, if you cannot afford it, then nobody needs it in the house, the whole house. Like, nobody needs it. So don't put yourself into debt this Christmas over things that will not matter to you in February. Do not do it. Don't put yourself into debt over things and think you're going to pay for it with your tax return. Let's not play that game. Let's not do these things that we know will ruin our finances for the next year. Let's try to do something different. So let's not OD so we can have pictures on social media for Christmas. Get one or two things. Your children will be satisfied. Make a plan with your partner, significant other, that puts a budget around your gifts so that no one is overspending. Make sure that you use this opportunity to lay the groundwork for a financially free 2019. Because if you don't, 2019 will look just like 2018. And you don't want that. So today's video, really quickly, I want to touch on a topic that's really been burning my, deep in my craw. Looking around at social media and seeing this constant conversation with a comparison between being an employee and an entrepreneur. The idea, I did a podcast today, episode 142, is about the difference between being an employee and an entrepreneur and why neither one of you, an employee or an entrepreneur, will be financially free if you don't know how to manage your money. And so there's a couple of memes going around and people say, your 9 to 5 is just paying you to forget about your dreams. That is the biggest crock of bullshit I have ever seen in life. Social media will tell you now that everybody can be an entrepreneur. And that is not the facts. If I was an entrepreneur in that spirit, I would be offended by the idea that it makes it seem like anybody can be an entrepreneur. To be an entrepreneur is a skill set. It is a certain spirit. That's why I say, do you have the entrepreneurial spirit? It's not just like, oh, I have a good idea, I can be an entrepreneur. If that was the case, so many businesses would not fail. Because people who have good ideas think to go into business all the time. And half the time when they go into business, the businesses fail. You could be a great cook and open a restaurant and the shit fails. You can be a person who has great ideas to sell great clothes and it fails. You know why? Because sometimes you're just not a person who understands how to run good business. That's why a lot of times people who are running businesses and making the most money off businesses, who are entrepreneurs, are making it off someone else's idea. They just know how to make the money and make the business cook. So that's how it works. It's not like, oh, everybody who's out here making money off of being a business is a good business person. Sometimes they partner with a good business person. Sometimes they know and they have a good spirit or good edge, a good instinct for business, and they are successful at it. But there is no truth to the idea that people who work a 9 to 5 every day can in no way have financial freedom. That you're being tied down and held down by your employer who's paying you a paycheck every 2 weeks. That's holding you down. You really need to be out here making your own money. First of all, when you go to work every day, you are making your own money. You're going there every day. They're not giving you a paycheck for showing up. They're giving you a paycheck for doing a job, and you're working. And so there's no shame in being a person who goes to work every day because you can't be an entrepreneur. You're not an entrepreneur. That's not the case. And those people, financial freedom is not dictated by how you bring your income in. Financial freedom is dictated by the ways in which you manage the money that you bring in. Now, you can take the money you bring in from your 9 to 5, invest it properly in someone who actually has an entrepreneurial spirit, and then you can go ahead and make money. We're going to need to lose this idea. Social media is perpetuating it a lot because it gives everyone a space, and thankfully a very good space for which people can go out who have ideas, who want to be entrepreneurs. They can make, there's a lot of more avenues, I would say, and a lot more ability to go out and make it on your own than it may have been 10, 15, 20 years ago. What also happens, though, is the field is crowded. It's full of people who believe they can be entrepreneurs because it looks so easy on social media. And therefore, everyone who thinks they have a good idea thinks they can be a business owner. And frankly, that's just not the case. You know, there are some real skill sets. If there was not a skill set required to be a business owner, there wouldn't be a thing called business school. There are schools that people go to train, to learn how to like manage that instinct that they have in order to run a business. And so we should not demean business owners and entrepreneurs by making it sound like everyone who goes to a 9 to 5 should just quit that 9 to 5 and go be a business owner. Not the case. I want to kill that myth because it gives the idea to people who go to work every day that the reason that they're struggling financially is because they work for someone else. Or people will say that I want to have my own business because I want to work. I don't want to work for someone else. But the fact is everybody works for somebody. The business owner works for the consumer, the person who is paying their bills because they're the ones in consuming their product or their service. So everyone works for someone. And how you get to that financial freedom has to do with how you manage the money you bring in. Point blank, end of story. It does not matter how you bring it in. It's about how you manage it, the ways in which you can use it to bring yourself closer to your goals. And that's it. There's a lot of resources and a lot of things, a sacrifice that go into being a business owner, particularly before the business is successful. And there's a high level of risk because the business cannot be successful. And at the end of the day, everyone needs to eat and have shelter and a roof over their head. I'm not discouraging people from going into business. I think that people who have that skill set and that ability should go into business. But I would like to not be on the side of this story that discourages people who go to work every day at a place where they're employed and they receive a paycheck every week, every 2 weeks, every month, that they are somehow never going to see financial freedom. Not the case. This whole platform that I have here is to encourage people, no matter how you bring your money in, that there are ways in which you can get to your financial freedom simply by the actions you take and with the money you have, the money you bring in. It takes a lot of sacrifice. It takes a lot of dedication. It takes a lot of commitment to changing your attitude, changing your mindset, changing your habits. And that is something that needs to be done for people, whether you are an entrepreneur or a person who goes to work every day. But I want to kill this myth, this bullshit myth that the employee versus the entrepreneur, everyone should just own their own businesses. That's just not the case. First of all, if everyone owned their own businesses, who the hell would work for you when you have a business? Like it's just not a thing, and I think it's more detrimental than it is helpful. Yes, we should encourage people to go out if they have an idea and they have a spirit and they want to work and they have a spirit and energy and a thought process and a skill set where they can build a business. We should encourage people to do that. We absolutely should. And those people who are in business should reach back and encourage those people who are coming up underneath them, behind them, to do the things and work hard and give the tips and the jewels and the gems on how to make it, if they know and if they can share that. But at the same time, you cannot and you should not and we should not shame people who go to work every single day, like in a career. Because again, that's the other thing I want to end, is this comparison of a job to a career. People have careers, things that they've gone to school for, committed to, worked their whole lives towards. That is admirable. There is no shame in that. People should not be shamed for that because they're not entrepreneurs. And people who have a job, people who just go to work every day just to make ends meet, those people shouldn't be shamed either. Like, oh, because you're doing that because you can't go be an entrepreneur. It's not true. Be an employee, be an entrepreneur, but whatever you be somebody who's financially savvy, someone who understands their financial worth, and someone who does all the things they can, makes all the commitments and all the changes so that they can be financially free, no matter how you bring in your money. because financial freedom is truly and really our only hope. Thanks for listening today. Have a great day.